Welcome back to Adventure 82. Today what we're going to do is look at the lost water mills in St Peters Valley. Currently we're near Le Moulin de Quinterville, which is actually the only one left standing that you can visit. But what we're going to do is actually start the first mill along the valley, which would have been Tesson Mill. So let's get down there and we'll start having a look at these different water mills. People were still talking French when it was built. This one is from the 1830s, but there's history of a mill on this site going all the way back to 1274, and the National Heritage Trust, who own the land, believe there may have even been a mill here as far back as the 11th century. This is still owned by the National Trust, but at the moment currently it's flats. And they're also doing repairs to it. At the side here, where the double green door is where the water mill wheel would have once been, because all the mills we're going to see today were all water powered. This specific mill, like I say, at the moment it's flats. There are plans to open it up to the public, the areas that haven't been converted, and according to the website of the National Trust for Jersey, that's supposed to happen sometime in 2024. It was owned by the Crown at one point, and then switched into being owned by the private property owners, and remained that way until 1937, when it was sold to the Jersey New Waterworks, who diverted the water that was powering the mill to fill in the reservoir just next door to the mill over there, which I'll show you next. So let's go have a look at this reservoir. Right, so this is the reservoir in question. Still owned by New Jersey Waterworks, but I can't make up my mind. I don't know how well it comes out in the video, but I'm looking at the layering there. It looks very much like a German wall technique, as does the wall here down by the road, which makes me wonder whether maybe the Germans altered it slightly. Also, it'd be very cool if someone could actually answer me in the comments and let me know what the, for lack of a better word, the pillars that line this are for. Because I've always wanted to know what the pillars are for. But see, look, or even the retro posts, look at that. This clearly had windows at one point. This is the main building for it. But alas, that's not happening anymore. And there you go, that's probably the best view you're going to get. But yeah, if anyone can let me know what these pillars are for, that'd be awesome. Right, if you look at the line there, you can see where there's a fence, or just about you can see where there's a fence in the hedgerow. Behind there, just by that fence, there's a water course, and so the water would run down through Tesson Mill, turn the mill wheels, and then it would come down this water course after passing through the reservoir, and then go through here, and then it would continue up to Le Quinterville Mill, which is where we're off to now. And that's how it worked all the way down. So started at Tesson Mill, powered that one, went down, powered Le Quinterville Mill, went down, powered the next one, and so on until you got to the very last mill, and then it disappeared off underground, I believe. These days the water's diverted, it's stored in a reservoir further up the valley by Jersey Water, but I'll show you that as we get up there.
Ta-da! Dee-dee-dee. 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 Okay.
But the first recorded mill on the site was in 1309. The current building was grinding flour from Eastern Europe, and it was actually sending its flour and exporting it as far away as America and Canada. for it to be turned into bread, and I'm guessing other kinds of dough. This mill is the only one out of all the mills you're going to see today that's still functional. This one you can actually come and visit. It's owned by the National Trust. Board's there. Camera's on me. Watermill currently isn't functioning, but twice a year you can actually come here. I'm not sure what the dates are because they vary slightly each year, but you can come here twice a year where the water is actually running through the mill itself, turning the wheel, and you can actually watch them grind the flour, which I think would be quite cool. So if you want me to come back and make a video of that, I can do that for you. But otherwise, Bob's the next one along, which is now a private house. This could be interesting. Yeah, come on.
Thank you.
Oh, right, that's the thumbnail done.
Yay.
Filming currently now, being done by Charlotte on the GoPro. Hopefully this time though, she won't kill the battery. I'm hoping. Anyway.
I can get your head without cutting it off.
What are you doing? Trying to put my mic on and dump the coat, okay? Kids have gone to take their stuff upstairs. See the things I do for you guys. Don't mind.
Stop complaining then.
Sure, Sherrick. Dear.
Mommy! Daddy!
See, Charlotte. There you go, look, we've just found the sluice gates. You can see there's like a little staircase style waterfall there for the water to come down, and then you can see there's a second sluice gate, and that's where the water would go along to Le Quetterville Mill. But we're going to continue following it this way. Right, I'm just in the hedgerow because we're following the water course, which is there. Well, water bed, there's no water at the minute. And just found this kind of, if it's a bridge or maybe a support, but you can see it goes straight underneath and all the way off the other side. This would have had some water down it. It's wet at the moment because it's been raining recently, but nothing like it would have had down it permanently when it was first built. But that's quite a cool find. I know people walk past this, don't even give it a second thought. Anyway, back to the mission. Right, so as we walk up to the next mill, I thought I'd give you some other information. So, at the height of the mill industry, so this would be when Quetterville Mill you just saw was sending its flour and things off to the United States and Canada. You had as many as 7 mills just along this stretch of water. I only know the locations of 4. But as you walk past the houses, you can't help but wonder if some of them were used to be mills. So that's where. So maybe somebody knows something I don't there. And yeah, there's a good like 7 mills down here. They weren't necessarily all here at the same time. Some of them were pre-1400s, some of them weren't. But the ones that are still left have been here for, I would say probably for the most of them, knocking on almost as long as Gorey Castle's been standing, give or take 100 years. Probably hear the water though. That's because you've reached one of the storage ponds. So if I turn the camera around, so bear with me, you can see there's the water rushing off from under the bridge I'm on, because this actually splits. So one of the water goes off that way to the other side, which is how the mill we're about to go look at would have got its power. And then you have this side where the water splits just there, see? And it goes off under the bridge. Thank you, Mr. Aeroplane. And also goes off this way and down towards Quetterville Mill. And as you can see at the moment, the reason Quetterville Mill isn't being powered is because the sluice gate here is shut. These are open and closed only by Jersey Waterworks, and the water storage is owned by Jersey Waterworks, so they have the right to open and close the sluice gates as they see fit. It's also why they only make flour at Kettyville Mill twice a year, because that's all that water the Jersey Waterworks allow them to have. But you can see here the storage pond has become more of a duck pond these days. But you can see there the part open sluice gate, and you can see it's padlocked so people can't open it any further. And then if I bring this round, you can see there the water that you just saw as it rushes off under the bridge. Side here. Gargate Mill's the only one of the 4 left standing I can't find little to no information on, probably because it's now a private residence. But you can see at the side here where the stairs are now, that's the side the water wheel would have been on once upon a time. But yeah, not an awful lot left on Gargate Mill. The only thing that I have learnt about Gargate Mill is that it's named, or was named by a gentleman in Grouville after a tree that was felled that he was quite partial to. I don't know how you get partial to trees, or even how you name them. This is strange to me. But nonetheless, sorry, Lydia's pulling faces out of camera, it's not my fault. Nonetheless, that's what he did. It's also worth noting whilst we're here, and it's slightly quieter than it has been, these mills, I touched on the fact that they were once owned by the Crown. When they were owned by the Crown, each parish was responsible for a different mill. So this mill was the responsibility of Grouville, and then you had Kettyville Mill was responsibility of St Peter, and then you had Tesdall Mill, which was responsibility of a different parish again. Strangely enough, St Clement's were the exception to the rule, who were only responsible for whichever mill they decided that they were using, which seems quite odd. I don't know what makes St Clement so special, but there we go. And our abandoned mill at the end, which is what we're going to go look at after, that was the responsibility of St Mary's, like I say. So, right, anyway, we're off that way because that's where the mill is. Right, so now we're away from the noise a bit. I can't escape the road's right there. But yeah, so Gargate Mill, like I say, not a lot of information on it. It's now private property, so I didn't want to film it for too long in case I annoyed the owners. But yeah, so that's Gargate Mill. We're now in a new part of the valley, which was partly a walk. It's now been paved, so turned it into a walkway / cycle track. So I'll show you what I'm seeing. It's really quite pretty. Hang on, there we have the sky, and then we have the cycle track. Look at that. I know there's been issues because some of the cyclists have said it's the wrong material or something it's been made from. For I think it's road bikes that have the issue, but I think it's one of the cases where the states have done quite well with this specific situation. Don't hear me say that very often. But right, so we're going to go down here to our final stop, and it's one I've been looking forward to doing for some time. Pretty much since I started the channel I wanted to do it at some point. I always knew I wanted to film this. But we're going to go take a look at an abandoned mill, so let's go have a look at that. Right, so we've stopped for a break. Blaze is there, look. She reckons she's Bear Grylls because she's found a bamboo straw.
Don't film me eating! I can use it for drinking. Don't film me eating!
And you've got Blade and you've got Charlotte there. And then Erica and Lydia are hiding up there on the stairs. Look at that.
Hello! And there's a dog over here.
Right, so we'll finish up this and then back on the trail of this abandoned mill. Right, I've just finished eating, or we have, and Just noticed this thing. Don't know what's down here. Don't even know if it opens. Let's have a look. Nope. Wow, that's a long way down. I wonder what's down there. Oh, it's water, so must be water under here as well. There's water everywhere. Right, so we're down in the culvert. As you can see, there's your water with your waterfall that's down there. There's some good acoustics down here. You can see it going off under that. There's also, interestingly, I don't know if it's in use anymore, but another hidden pipe. Don't know what that one's about. But that's quite dark down there, look at that. Right. Well, we're done here now, so off to the last meal. Right, so Jersey's abandoned mill, Gigulon Mill. I've had to weigh in. It looks like we've done a pretty good job of stealing it, but I'll have a look, see if I can find a way in or get you a view inside or something. That's why I've got different cameras. You got all the parts from there, over there, or what they've managed to salvage from it anyway. Gigulon Mill, only two-wheeled, two-water-wheeled mill in the Channel Islands. So we would have had two on the side there. We'll have a look up there. You can see how high up the water was when it was falling down. You can see where it used to come out there at the top. Interesting story behind Gigulon Mill, which I found courtesy of National Trust of Jersey, where a gentleman in the 1800s who owned the mill got into trouble with the parish of St Peter's for shutting the mill in the evenings, and when they went round to tell him off, as it were, the police, they were greeted by a lady running away in her how do you pronounce it, chemise, and yeah, fleeing, which she found out later that he was having an affair with. So they both got told to stop shutting the mill at the weekend and to in fact behave. So some things don't change, eh? So anyway, we'll go have a look at this because there's all sorts of bits and pieces here to look at. We'll have a good look round, and what I can show you, I'll show you. Hopefully they haven't sealed it off too much. But let's go have a look around. Right, so there's stuff from here everywhere. Look, there's dumped stone there. It's a sad thing to think. If you look it up online, I've forgotten where I found it, but there's some state's documents dated 1991. And the state's actually put through a plan to restore this mill and turn it into a tourist attraction, something similar to Lequetteville Mill, because it was the only one of its type in the Channel Islands. And they went and they bought a brand new wheel, which was here for a while. I don't know if it's still here. We'll have a look for that as well. And then they kind of pulled the plug. Actually, we're not going to pay for that now, which is rather sad. It's quite the climb, this. Plenty stairs. But Gigulon Mill, I've always wanted to come up here. Here we are at the top. So you can see here now, path goes even higher, so now how high the path goes. But there's your water course. As you can see, there's a doorway there, and water would have come from up there. We'll go see where that goes in a minute. But for now, There's your sluice gate, look at that. So this isn't actual sluice gate as such. This would have been more like a filter. It would have been a sluice gate at one point. This bar kind of thing they have on here. Don't know if it's new or not, but it would have acted like a filter, kind of stop the water. You can see like the drop is quite high. You can see it's just being used for storage now. Look, someone's got their wheelbarrow in there, so it's just a glorified shed, which is a shame. And you can see the rubble and the stuff that's been dumped down there. I wonder if they do still have this wheel. We'll have to have a look for that in a moment. Let's go see where else this watercourse came from then. So this watercourse powered this mill for a very long time. The two-wheeled style of water mill came from our friends actually in France. It was invented by a Frenchman who came over here. You can see that one's well and truly blacked up. That's another way through for the water. Take it that would have been a divert, maybe overflow. But you can see that was definitely meant to be there. It's just as old and as rusty. You can see all the old stone here now that's coming up. Plenty of flies up here. You can hear the water. I don't know, well, I can hear the water. I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone yet, but I can hear the water. I think it's probably the first video I've done which is mostly GoPro. So it'll be interesting to see whether you guys enjoy it or not. But right, so we're reaching the end by the looks of this watercourse now. Water's really loud, so I'm guessing you can hear it by now. That's a nice piece of rock. Proper Jersey granite that is. This bit is definitely looking a bit more worn. It's been a long time since water's run down here though. There you go, you can see where it's diverted now by Jersey Water, and it goes off to the reservoir across the road, which I showed you before where we were having tea. You can climb up here. There you go, see? And the water now no longer going along here, but meandering its way down there and off to the reservoir. Looking here, I'm trying to figure out where this would have been diverted up here. Imagining looking at the level over there, probably roundabouts here actually. So I wonder how far back this goes. Yeah, the water, yeah, see it's all the same level here. So the water would definitely have been diverted somewhere around here. Thing is though, it's been redirected for so long. As I say, they built the reservoir, the storage reservoirs in the 1930s. So this would have been diverted for so long. It wouldn't be obvious anymore anyway. But that's an absolutely stunning find. Right, let's go have another closer look at this mill. Now we follow the watercourse and see what else we can find. We have more dumped stone on the way back from the mill. You can see there it's kind of, they tried to hide it in kind of army camouflage netting. I don't know why that is, but it's all along here. They tried to hide it. Still no sign of this wheel though. Wonder where that is. Let's see if it's still here. Right, so managed to get to where the second wheel arch would have been, and you can see it's quite deep. I'm quite a way up on just a wall. You can see there, well, there would have been a mechanism and stuff just here. But that's all that's there. Like I said before, it's a glorified shed. Right. It's very sad to see that it was going to be fixed and now it's not happening. Right, anyway, that's it for this video. I need to go and find somewhere nice and we'll finish this one off. Right, that's it for this one. It's a really stunning structure for December's not to fix. I know I keep saying that, but it just is. Thank you to Blaze for the extra B-roll, having to go with B-roll. And thanks to the guys on Temps Passe for their information on Gigi Lawn Mill and the National Trust for Jersey. I'll put their website in the description below in case you want to look up any other stuff like this. If you want to do about some other water mills, so I know there was other ones out like Trinity Way and stuff, again also let me know in the comments. If you want to support the channel, there's Buy Me a Coffee, which you probably saw the icon for at the beginning of the video. Otherwise there's a link to Patreon in the description below. And until then, as he says, coming out the shrubbery, stone there. I'll see you next time from me and Charlotte hiding in the bushes.